Hello, hello. What's up, guys? It's your girl Beanie. I know, back twice in 1 week. Don't get excited. It's a fluke, for sure. Okay, I'm not going to do a video this soon. But let me do this. First, hello to my new subscribers. My name is Beanie. This is my channel where we talk about my crappy ass dentures. I'm fat, have anxiety, have depression, going through life's emotions as a middle-ager, and trying to help people if I can, here or there. Got it fixed. That was a whole thing. I've got to tell you guys this story. But I can't do it today. I'm doing something else today because I'm very ADD today. Very ADD. I'm very all over the place. And it's kind of hard to put me in a box when I'm like that. So I'm on my lunch break and I'm trying to go through, I have multiple email accounts. I'm trying to get like my emails cleaned out because, when you're going through the mortgage process and homeowners quotes and all that shit, my email boxes were full. But I went from working on my personal email boxes to like, oh, let me go look at my Beanie Unscripted box, which always has tons of emails that I'm still working through. Oh, and I'm not going to say much, but I did get an email from the Denture box, people. You guys, Denture box. She's adorable. I have to read it through again, but anyhow, I think I might make a purchase of the Denture box. I don't know. Okay, we're not here to talk about Denture box. Damn it, Beanie. So I got an email, and this is from a viewer who does engage on the comment section. And I just started typing back, and then I'm like, oh my God, this is taking forever, because I'm like, okay, no, but I have this question. Okay, but now I have that question. Like, I can't help certain situations unless I have more information. And I'm like, oh my God, it's taking too long. You know what would be faster if I just made a video? Particularly because I don't edit shit anyways. So just put it out there. And then you can just email me back. I will not give the viewer's name because I didn't ask their permission to disclose their name. So we won't do that. And let me see here. I'm trying to understand. That's one thing I can say, that like when you guys send me emails about like your current situation, imagine like you're going through, like sometimes you guys don't give me the whole scope of the situation. Like you're only giving me a snippet, and I can't give you like my third party opinion without knowing like a little bit more. So for those of you that do email me a lot, not a lot, but often we communicate a lot in email. I ask a ton of questions, just like I'm a chatty Cathy on here. That's it. And yeah, new subscribers, I have an ADD brain. I'm a chatty bird. I don't give you that cookie cutter content. I don't got time for it. And second of all, I'm here to be like real. You can find those channels that give you the ambiance, the music. They all talk the same, at the same cadence. And for me, those are not the people that I like watching, because I like real. I like the people I'm like, yo, that's my girl I go to lunch with. Or that's my coworker. I see that. When they're all cookie cutter cutouts, your girl can't do it. Okay. There's a couple of things that I'm not sure of the timeline, and you have to forgive me. I don't remember if you had detailed it before. I do know I have somebody going in this week, but I don't think it's you. I don't know. So essentially your question was, I was hoping you could answer a couple of more questions, because I'm really rethinking the whole situation with Aspen. I feel like I'm being rushed. So for me, I'd be interested in knowing, in what respect are you feeling rushed? That's pretty much how Aspen operates. Like Aspen is like, they're a volume provider. So they really generate the revenue, not only by their increased, median price point, but volume. Volume is how they create business. So I'm wondering how you're feeling rushed with them. I only go in a few days, and I only have 6 teeth on top. Only 6 teeth? Some people don't even have 6 teeth. It's okay. How do they even know what my immediates will look like if they don't have an impression? Okay. And again, I should have probably went back and looked for your original comments. Are you doing immediates, extractions, and then permanents? So that's the first thing it sounds like you're doing immediates. I can tell you how they did it with me. Okay. So with me, I went in for my consultation. At my consultation, they said, yes, you are definitely a candidate for dentures. If you're interested, we can get you in as soon as next week. And if you're interested, we need a deposit. And then if you're interested, we're going to do your impressions today because it's going to take us about a week to get those immediates ready. So they did my mold for my immediate dentures a week before my extractions. They did it the same day that I gave them a deposit. Now, had I not given them a deposit, or had I said, well, I'm unsure if I really want to go through with it, they obviously wouldn't have taken a mold then until they know that they've secured me as a client, right? With immediates, you have no choice. Okay, you're going to get the teeth that they give you, the color that they give you. Particularly, I don't know, if people are doing partials, they're going to try to match up the tooth shade closest to their shade, but there's only 3 shades with Aspen with their immediates, okay? So I'm kind of curious, what are you doing next week? Like you didn't say, you said I'm going next week, but what are you doing? What are they doing for you? That would be it's too late now. It's Friday. So it's too late for you to call them unless your particular office has late hours on Friday or if they operate on Saturday. But that should be a question you need to call them and say, listen, I need to know what I can expect. And that would be something for all viewers. You guys, as consumers, if you're not sure, don't assume. And if you're not sure, don't assume the people on the TikTok and the Instagram and the YouTube are giving you accurate information either. Because what happens at their local dentist's office or dentistry facilities is not what's necessarily going to happen in yours, or the order in which they do things may not be the same. The onus is on you as the consumer to ask the open-ended questions to get you to a place where you feel comfortable to make, further decisions. Hope that makes sense. So, with the impressions, when they do your impressions, even if you only have 6 teeth, and even if those teeth are loose, don't worry. When they do the impressions, your teeth aren't going to come out. But what it does do is it gives the technician an idea of the current placement of your teeth. Even when you have teeth that are coming out systematically over the years and your rest of your other teeth will shift because of that, they're still able to gauge a general idea of the placement of your teeth. They also look at the current teeth that you do have installed in your mouth that are still there, and they use those to get the approximate size based on what the mold is showing, and then they'll take their little teeth out of their trays and then match them up. You asked about the teeth. Yeah, they just, literally, because I was, a little bit more extra than probably most people, at one point during my permanence, they brought the trays out so I could visually see the different sizes of teeth. So they have the teeth with Aspen are lettered, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then there's numbers for the different sizes, and they come on, they have the sample template mouth, but then there's also the individual loose teeth. So, yes, they have them. Will they bring them out for everybody? No, they assume that you're going to leave it to the professionals to make their assessment. But that's why when you go in for permanence and you're doing wax try-ins, that's where you have to use your voice to say, I feel like these teeth are a little bit big or a little bit small. Can we do a wax try-in with the next size down? All right. So then you said, I think you said something about that you made them redo your immediates. Yes, you're correct. They did redo my immediates. That's probably why they fucking hate me. No, Dr. Taylor loved me, and I made her laugh the entire time she was pulling out my teeth. And because I had a good rapport with her, and I was not happy with my my immediates, she did remake them. But I will tell you this, don't bank on that. Go through the comment section of any of my 100+ videos, or I don't even know how many videos I've made, but go through all the comment section and you'll see tons of, comments where people will say, man, my immediates suck. They don't fit. I mean, they're all cattywampus, and there's nobody remaking them. It really depends on, I think, how you interface with the people that you're dealing with, and the practice as a whole. But yes, they did remake my temporaries one time. But I would say don't bank on that. I'm sorry, I'm looking out my front door. What is going? Hold on a second. Okay. I had to go see what was at my front door. It looked like it was a repo man for my neighbor, but it wasn't. It was just whatever. I don't know what it was, but I thought it was a repo. I was being nosy. That's what I was doing. Okay. So, is it possible if I hate them? I know once I sign that's it. Okay. So I think you're getting a couple different things confused. You sign for permanence. You don't sign for temporaries. Like, your immediates are just to tie you over from the time that they do extractions until you're ready to go for permanence. And this would be something else. Again, I'm going to reiterate this, especially for the new viewers who don't want to go back and watch all my old videos. Aspen or even affordable dentures, a lot of these places will pre-schedule you for when they feel like you've had enough time to heal and then get fitted for your permanence. You're not bound by that. You can have your permanence made. As long as you've paid for your dental work, you can have your permanence made whenever you want. And if finances are of a concern, which in this economy, they should be everybody's concern. If you're not living debt-free, you need to worry. That's all I'm going to say about that. I am an advocate for wait until you get your permanence. Not only did I have considerable shrinking in the first 6 months from the time of my extractions, but even after I had the molds and my permanence made, which was almost a year, it was close to a year, 2 months later, my mouth had gone through another phase of shrinking. And these are those permanents, and they're loosey-goosey now. And that was a year after extractions. So, like the first couple of years, you will have, and everybody, the amount that they're going to shrink is probably different, and how quickly it happens. But mine was like a 2-year extravaganza. And if you are paying out of pocket, or you don't really have great dental coverage, and so this is really more of a financial burden, or God forbid you're financing your teeth, I get verklempt thinking about financing teeth. But if you're financing your teeth, then wait. I don't care if your temporaries are ugly. So what? You were walking around with no teeth. So what if you go for a year with your shitty temporaries? You will thank me by waiting as long as you possibly. Wait until you can't stomach it anymore, or until they tell you, okay, you have to come in and get your teeth done. Like, you shouldn't just not get them done. You should let them know, I want to allow for maximum shrinkage. And don't let them BS you and say, oh, well, most of your shrinking will be done by 6 months. It wasn't for me. See how loosey-goosey those are now? And they used to be snug as a bug in a rug. That's all I'm going to say about that. So it's when you're going for your permanence that, at least at Aspen, you have to sign. So you can get, I don't want to say you're going to get as many wax tries as you'd like. For me, I know when I got to like 4 or 5-ish, they started getting annoyed. I think you're pushing it to try to get that many. But yes, they will do wax try-ins within a reasonable, a reasonable amount to try to achieve the desired look that you want. Also know this is that every time you have to get another wax try-in done, you're delaying your process by a week. So like, let's say you go in, you try them in, you're like, oh, I don't know. Like when they redid my tops this last time, we had an issue here with this tooth, not on this set, on my new set. And at first they foo-fooed me. And then like I had to like get into I don't want to get into the story about it because it's a story for another video. Anyhow, it can be a laborious process for the wax try-ins. Once you have reached the apex of like, you're like, this is as good as it's going to get. The smile looks as good as it's going to get. The shade of the tooth color is good for me. The shape of the teeth looks good for me. Okay, we're going to move ahead. Then Aspen will have you sign off that you are green light. You're giving them the green light to use that wax mold to make your permanents. And then once the permanent is made, there's no changes that can be done to that permanent. The only changes that would be is that they can do some shaping of the teeth if needed once they're installed. Or if your palate needs some shaving down in certain areas, they will take care of that as well. Also want to let you know, when you're going through Aspen Dental and you have that warranty, don't get silly with the Dremel. You'll see people on the internet, on the YouTube, on the TikTok, that they take the Dremel tool themselves and they Dremel out stuff here and there. I'm going to tell you, with Aspen Dental dentures, do not do that. You will void your warranty. And yes, they will know if a dum-dum did it themselves versus them doing it. Because they don't just use the Dremel. They use the Dremel and then they use this heat tool to smooth out certain areas. Don't mess with it, okay? I'm just telling you, if you have problems with your dentures, take yourself back to Aspen. And that way, while they're adjusting the denture, if something goes awry, it's on them that it went awry, not on you. Okay. So you asked me about that. And then you said, one more thing. Will I get to speak with the lab people and show them pics of what I want? No, you're not. You're not going to get that. You're not going to a prosthodontist. You're going to Aspen Dental. Okay? No, you're not going to. I shouldn't say no across the board, but no, generally speaking, no, you're not going to speak to the lab technician. In my case, though, yes, I've had to interface with Bob several times. But again, that's because my circumstances with them was very different. And most people, you're not going to have that, okay? The person you're going to interface the most with is going to be the dental technician. And it's not a hygienist. It's just the assistant. That's the person you're really going to probably be interfacing the most with. Not even so much the dentist, okay? The dentist is going to do the dental parts, which is do the extractions, check on your healing, check on the bite once you have your teeth made. But as far as like doing the molds, type fitting your tops and your bottoms, as far as doing the molds for the tops and the bottoms, then refitting the molds, doing the soft liners, all of that is really through it's the dental technicians when you're going through Aspen Dental, because this is a high volume office. So they use the dentist in the areas that he needs to be, which is not hand holding the denture patients. It'll be the technician, the dental, assistant that you're going to be dealing with the most. And every time you go there, it's not necessarily going to be the same dental technician. That's the thing too. So it's very important that you are being very clear about your needs, your concerns, your uncertainties. I'm always advocating for consumers to say, listen, I need you to walk me through this. Like, okay, tell me step by step, what's the next thing I can expect? You can show them pictures of what you want, but again, this is not you're paying for Aspen Dental. I know you're probably, possibly paying a lot of money. I know I paid a lot of money, and you think for that much money, you have more say than what you do, but you really don't. Not there. If you were going to a prosthodontist, which is different, yes, like the prosthodontist, it's definitely more a la carte, if that makes sense. You're paying for that service. There are also certain things that Aspen is doing on site and other things that they're not doing on site. So it depends on your Aspen Dental office. Again, this is something you should probably ask them. Like, what out of my denture services, what are you doing on site and what gets sent off site? They may say everything is done on site. Other things may not be done on site. Like, they may just be doing your wax molds on site, but the actual acrylic palettes are sent off site. So you want to ask. Do you think they can or will be able to put a space in between the two front teeth and do extra pointy eye teeth? I don't know. It depends on how much of a space you want. I'm also going to tell you this, and this is not speaking for the people that have dental implants. Okay, I'm talking about people who have conventional dentures. The teeth are pushed together not only for aesthetics, but you have to remember these are plastic teeth in a plastic acrylic plate. These are not, even though you may only have 6 upper teeth, these are upper teeth that are rooted into bone. That's very different than plastic teeth that are lined into a plastic acrylic plate. They may say that we can give you a slight gap, but I probably would venture to say it's going to be a very hairline gap that only you would know is there. It's certainly not going to be something that I cannot see them, but I'm not a dentist, but I'm saying I don't see them green lighting a gap when that gap could potentially affect the structural integrity of the teeth as a whole. So, look at me. I'm eating Sammy's and I got teeth popping out left and right. Have an English muffin, my teeth pop out. So when you have these little gaps where the teeth are not pressed together, you have these little corners that would be open, like right here, that potentially could be a structural integrity issue at that point. I don't know for certain. It would be something that I would urge you to ask. And if they say, oh, it should be fine, then your next question should be, well, do you think it would affect the strength of the teeth? Like, you need to ask these questions. Don't just take yes or no for an answer. Ask further questions. As far as pointy eye teeth, really pointy eye teeth, the teeth come in a general shape, okay? They come at what's considered the standard, tooth shape. And there is latitude for the technician, the denturist, to come in and do some shaping with the Dremel. They'll shape it. But I honestly, if you're going to get into the point where you want them to really make them pointy and I mean, again, we're talking about Aspen Dental denture technicians. We're not talking about prosthodontists or cosmetic dentistry. Okay, so I think you then get into a very tricky territory where it's possible it could come out looking good, and it's also possible that it could come out looking like shit. And then you're going to walk around with fang teeth and then say, well, why did I do that? I'm just saying. The other thing to consider is, remember the perspective that you're seeing yourself right now is the perspective of the person that only has 6 upper teeth. Once you have a full mouth of teeth back in your face frame, how you look at yourself, it changes again. Because where you had all of these hollow gaps are now filled in, and where you just saw little black holes, it's now filled in. And so in your head, you're like, well, I had pointy eye teeth and I'd like to have them back. And I had a gap. I would like to have it back. Well, we don't know, was your gap a natural gap? And At what age did you start losing your teeth? Because that gap may have widened over time because you were losing your side teeth, and so everything shifted out. So the gap that you ended with was not maybe necessarily the gap that you were meant to have lifelong had you not lost any of your teeth that kept everything in line. I would say this, have very low expectations for that. And if those are deal breaker things for you, if they are deal breakers, then you need to stop what you're doing and just go to a prosthodontist. Not even to another private, because you mentioned in here something about that you also have an interview with a private dentist in just a couple days. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you this too. With the private dentist, 90% of the work is being done off site. What your private dentist is going to do, unless they specialize in dentures and denture apparatuses and appliances, they're just doing your molds. They're doing the basics, and everything else gets shipped off site to dental, labs off site. And then the teeth get shipped back in, and then you try them in, and he may be able to buzz something down here or there, but they're not doing any of that fancy dancy stuff. You got what I'm saying? So if you are very, like what I was called, particular, and you know that you're going to have issues adjusting to anything other than what you particularly want, then I'm going to tell you, save yourself this time, this effort, and just seek out a prosthodontist that this is all they do. All of their imaging is on site. All of the technical work is on site. Any adjustments are done on site. You'll probably interface with the actual technicians. Whereas with Aspen, like you ask, well, can I talk to the lab people? Probably not. Like that's not something that they're used to people asking for. So yeah, I mean, take a minute and decide what are like the deal breakers for you. Like you also mentioned that you felt like you were being rushed at Aspen, but what aspect of it are you feeling rushed about? That's the part I didn't know, because I can't talk you through that unless I understand at what point are you feeling rushed, and how can we have you reclaim either that feeling or to help you see that you're actually not being rushed. This is actually part of the process. That's not how you feel about it. And this means that we maybe need to look at addressing something else before you're ready. This is a huge thing. Okay. Like, I don't feel like jumping into getting dentures is a 1, 2, 3 easy peasy thing for everybody. For some people, it does require, thought and contemplation. And this is why I've always recommended at least have three consultations with 3 different types of facilities. And you need to make sure that you're asking 1,000,001 questions until you feel completely satisfied. And if you end up dealing with a professional who feels that they are exacerbated by your number of questions, well, then they're probably not going to be the professional that's going to deliver the best results for you. Now, there's other people that they're like, listen, I don't even care. All I want to know is, can I eat a hamburger? Can I eat a steak? I don't give a shit about the rest of the issues. Like, I don't need to be a superstar. I'm walking around with no teeth. See, so everybody's different. Everybody has a different care and concern for their own particular situation. I know it's a really long-winded answer, but you see why I was having a difficulty. Like, I mean, I guess if I was putting more effort into it, I could have just wrote it back, but yeah. And you said here, maybe I'm overthinking. It's okay. I'm an overthinker all the time. That's part of my anxiety disorder. To overthink things. And that's why some things, like, I just don't even think about them at all. I'm just like, I just got to go do it because I will beat it to death. I will beat it to death. But I hope this helps you. And again, email me back. I have your email, so I know who you are. If you want to give me a little bit more information and I can kind of curtail my answer and make it more specific for you. But my first thing would be, if I'm understanding your situation with Aspen correctly, if it were me in your situation, you need to, well, again, because I don't know where you're at, it just doesn't make sense to me about the whole temporary thing. So if your understanding is you're getting your extractions done like next week or whatever, then I would say you need to call them and say, okay, I have an appointment set up. Can we just go over again? What is it that we're doing at this appointment? Oh, and by the way, listen, if you're going through Aspen Dental with insurance, not Medicaid, but regular like private insurance, like from your job or whatever, before you do anything else, you should really look into getting a dentalplans.com supplement to go along with it, because that sucker saved me $2,400 on my extractions. Just saying. And if that's the case, if you want to email me, you know what you can do? You can email me a copy of your scope of work, which is the plan that they put in place, like all of the stuff that they think that they're going to do for you, blah, blah, blah. And I can help you. I'll look through it for you. We'll itemize which dental codes are being the most used, that it's not going to be filtered through by your insurance. And then go on dentalplans.com and pick out the plan that's going to give you the biggest discount for that. As long as you put the dentalplans.com in place before your next procedure with them, it'll still work. Just saying. Save money. In this economy, you have to. All right, you guys. I will talk to you soon. Viewer, email me and we will talk.